Welcome back, everybody. This is a F-150 Lightning tow video because everyone says you can't tow with an electric vehicle, so we can't make them anymore. Okay. Well, you're a bunch of crazy people. Or are you? Well, let me tell you. I got the stats. So, let's start off by what did I actually do? I traveled 1,178 kilometers. That's right. I took my truck, I went and got a 20-foot flat deck, I drove all the way from Blue Sky City to Lloydminster, I picked up a F-150 Platinum EcoBoost truck, it's got an engine problem, I loaded it on, and I towed it back in a snowstorm in February. What? I mean, frozen iguanas falling from the trees. We don't have those here, but everyone says you can't do it. It can't be done. It's cold. You need your heater. You're towing a trailer. You won't get any range. Well, I'm here to set the record straight. Mr. Farley of the Ford Motor Company has been sold a bill of goods by a bunch of MBAs, researchers, and marketers. These are just people that want to keep their jobs. They make a lot of money. They won't listen to me. I don't know anything. And stop making the Lightning. A friend of mine's going to go get one in a couple of days, get a really, really good deal on a Platinum. I mean, these things were 120 grand. They're down to like 65. And also where I live. Anyways, great opportunities. You get a chance to get a Lightning, long range, dual motor, XLT like I did in 2022. Go buy one. You'll love it. So, what are the stats? Towing a truck all of that distance in one day. Can it be done? Well, of course it can be done. Don't be ridiculous, all you gas people out there. Oh, you'll never make it. You'll get stranded on the side of the road. Well, you know, you could get stranded on the side of the road if you don't pay attention. And this is why I think EV trucks are failing. Not really failing, but don't have the demand, is because people don't understand they got to change a little bit. And nobody likes change. Nope. I got to have the pedal to the metal. No change. So, why is it that people stop buying the Lightnings? Well, that's because they became $120,000 trucks. And you're not going to buy a new product at 120 grand. I mean, like, come on. Come on, Mr. Farley. You know you were sold a bill of goods. You would have hired me. I applied for the job 3 times. Lightnings would be a run rate this year, maybe 100,000 going to 200,000, and you'd be make money on every single truck. But you won't listen to me. So, what can I do about it? I am expensive. I'm not a cheap employee. So, road trip. So I gotta give you some details. I got some B-roll, so let's get things rolling. How many kilowatt hours did I use? I used 502 kilowatt hours. That's how many DC fast charging I had to do. And remember, really remember this, if you get an electric vehicle and you're going to tow with it. When you're at these DC fast chargers, most vehicles will only go to 80%, and then they'll automatically, instead of getting, say, 150 kilowatt hours or 200 kilowatt, whatever, how fast you're filling up, will automatically get cut at 80. There's nothing you can do about it. And then at 90, that's it. That's it. Very few trucks will continue at DC fast charging over 90%. Some at Electrify Canada, Electrify Americas, you know, they just cut you down to 9 kilowatt hours, like you were charging at home, and you can get all the way to 100%. But honestly, 90%. And this is why the Ford Motor Company and everyone else on EVs that make EVs, I mean, maybe the EX60 is going to work, but where I live, from what I understand, it's going to be 100 grand, so it won't work. I mean, there's some people that'll buy it, but I mean, the average person can't afford 100 grand for a wonderful EV. Can't go test drive one, there's not one here. You know, 100 grand's too much money. So 90%. So do the math on that. If you've got a 500 kilometer range, 300 miles is 480. So let's just say 300 miles, 500 kilometers. If you've got a 500 kilometer range and all you can charge is 90%, now you're automatically 450. Well, you're never going to zero. You don't take your gas tank to zero. This is where the car companies are making a mistake. And every EV out there, they just think, well, there's chargers everywhere. Well, there's not. There is not chargers everywhere. And where EV adoption is very high, there's still not enough chargers. People line up. But that's not the problem. You never go to zero. So now your 500 kilometers of range is really 400. So you're advertising 500. But the person that's buying the vehicle knows this is a 400 kilometer vehicle. A 400 kilometer vehicle is a 300 kilometer vehicle. That's the problem. These car companies don't get it. And the marketers are convincing them, oh, the people are okay with this. No, they're not. That's why they buy hybrids and just regular gas cars, especially when it comes to trucks. When it comes to trucks, either get a full EV. Right now, Silverado's the only one left. There are some Lightnings, but I don't trust General Motors. Maybe if they had a better warranty. 10 years, 400,000 kilometers. Or 300,000 kilometers. Then maybe. But they got so many problems and they backstab their customers. I don't know how they have customers. I really don't. So, let's get into getting down the road.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen. This is called a Flo charger, and I'm going to try and piece all these little videos together from the shorts to make a long form video. And I got, as you can see, something to tow a truck on a truck. But my truck is a Lightning. So what does that mean? Well, as you can see, there's snow everywhere. It's kind of cold. I'm going to be honest with you, it's kind of cold. But my destination is Lloydminster. And how do you get to Lloydminster? An electric truck, 500 kilometers away from where you're going. When you got a trailer on, how far will you go? Well, I'm stopping here because, well, I'm old and I got to use the bathroom. So I'm going to put 12 minutes or 5 minutes electricity in. And we'll see you at Sherwood Ford. You need good tunes when you're road tripping, ladies and gentlemen. So here we are, sitting at the charger, and yes, when you got an electric truck, you got to stop and have lunch and sit around for half an hour. Okay? That's just the way it is. But that doesn't mean it's bad. You know, I mean, I guess if you got to road runner it, you road runner it. But this Sherwood Flo charger is great. I got a trailer in the back. Got to go pick up an F-150. I'm going to be at 80% pretty soon, so I'll be down the road. And actually 90%. And the only reason I'm doing 90% is because how far I got to go. And there's a charger, but there's a quite like 100 kilometers where there isn't. Actually, a little more than that, maybe 150. So I'm going to make sure I'm at 90%. Otherwise, we've been out here at 80. Because as soon as it hits 80% on these chargers with the Ford F-150 Lightning, you go from 120 kilowatt hours going in, drops right back down to 50. And you only get that 50 until you're at 90. So that last 10% takes 3 times as long, right? So anyways, but this is great. We're going to go get the truck and we're going to haul it back. Well, let's just get some nice rolly roll of the highway. As you can see, nice, beautiful highway. It's gotten a little colder, -7, but that's okay. Just thought you might want to enjoy the scenery up here near Mundare with the giant sausage, or Vegreville with the giant egg. Those are world records, by the way. But there's nothing like a nice little snow trip. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what do you do when you're on a road trip and you're towing a great big F-150 on behind your Lightning and you're running 52 kilowatt hours per 100 because it's a frickin' snowstorm outside, the wind is picked up, and you're going, oh no, how am I gonna charge? Well, this little insert to let you know, my next stop is 93 kilometers away, but as you can see, I'm only doing 80 instead of the usual 100. And that's because of the road conditions. Mostly. Because the road conditions are terrible. So, you gotta slow down. Now, I would rather be doing 100, but if I run higher than 52, you get stranded on the side of the road. It's as simple as that. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are with the F-150 Lightning at a Tesla charger. The very first one to ever work when I plugged it in. And here we are with our F-150 EcoBoost. As you can see, it's not snowing anymore. And we made it through the snowstorm. We made it to Vegreville, 149 kilometer dead zone in a blizzard, 40 kilometer an hour winds. But look, we're all tied on. Everything is nice and tight. And the wonderful truck that I picked up is going to work out just perfect. So, what do you do when you get to a small town called Vegreville and there's nobody here? Well, look at that wonderful Flo machine running at 165. Oh, isn't that great? Look how wonderful sunny it is. Well, considering this is in a dealership lot, this place is lit up like sunshine. But this is on the back side of Sherwood Ford in Sherwood Park, Alberta. But as you can see, we got the truck. We're gonna get a charge, head down to junction 42, and finish off the trip. And see all them lights over there? Just so you all know exactly where we are. We're in the those are refineries. That's right, this is the refinery capital of Canada. And we got ourselves a Mach-E and a Lightning. Well, how much fun is that?
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I hope all these little B-rolls were fun. I'm just going to give you a little recap. I picked up a flat deck. I drove to Lloydminster. No problem. I hit a snowstorm. Problem. Had to really slow down. And this is where why people don't buy electric trucks. You got to go slower sometimes. You can't go down the road at 120 kilometers an hour, 130 kilometers an hour, towing 10,000 pounds. Sometimes the storm comes, you get that headwind, you're down to 70. I had to slow down to 70 kilometers an hour to make my destination, and I made it, no problem. Took a little longer, but I had lots of buffer left. Even with towing it, I had lots of buffer left. Two, there are dead zones, and having a dead zone of 150 to 200 kilometers, whew, having a 150 kilometer an hour dead zone, going up, going down, going up, going down, that was fun. The math I was doing in my head, and I know I'm a math guy. Most people can't do this. The fun I was having calculating my kilowatt hours per 100, the speed I was doing, the weight I was towing, and how far I would actually go was unbelievably fun. I mean, I was in a whiteout, but it was fun. The results, 502 kilowatt hours had to be put into my truck to make this trip. That is a lot. Without towing, would have been 500 there, 500 back. I made maybe a little top up at Sherwood Ford for 20 minutes. But Sherwood Ford's put their prices up to 70 cents a kilowatt hour, and that makes it expensive. So, how much did all that charging cost me? Expensive, $351. That's right, $351. Plus I had to rent the trailer. So, that's just crazy. An F350, if I rented an F350, or if I borrowed one off somebody, I would have used about, because gasoline is down to $1.20 a liter, would have been about 240 bucks to go pick up the truck and come back, and no stress, right? You're not going to have any stress. F350 for sure would have got there, filled up when I got there. For sure would have made it back, if not stopped for 10 minutes, right? And this is the thing about gas. You can fill up in 10 minutes. I cannot. It's just the way it is. But you know what? Mine is more fun than gas. And that's what it boils down to. They didn't bother to sell everyone on how much fun it is and how different it is. They just wanted to be able to go down the road as fast as they can and get back as fast as they can and then drink beer. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm whiskey, but that's what it was. So here we are. So I want to say thank you, Ford. Maybe Mr. Farley will listen to me and The Lightnings will be back, and they will have 650 kilometers of range for less money. And they will do the things that people want them to do. But I don't think he wants to do that. So, you know, maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. That's just the way it is. And have yourself a wonderful weekend. I hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed doing the towing. Okay, and I tow dump trailers and stuff around my city and that. I mean, I don't ever have to stop to charge or anything throughout the whole day. So I don't know why, if you live in a city and never leave the city, why you don't have an electric truck, but I guess you just don't. So have yourself a great time. At the filming of this right now, my little recap, it's 15 degrees out. I should have gone and got that truck today. In 15-degree weather. Of course, it's so far away, could be a blizzard. Because when I left, we had great weather, ended up in a blizzard. Have yourself a wonderful weekend. And remember, I'll see you in the future doing some fun stuff. Because fun is fun.